There are some strange things you didn't know about Luka Doncic. From going pro in a video game to having one of the most expensive items in the entire world. These are strange things you didn't know about Luka Doncic. And for number one, did you know that before NBA games, Luka does something no one else does in the NBA? It all started back on May 22nd, 2022. The Mavs were matched up against the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals for Game 1. And just hours before tip-off, in the biggest game of his career, cameras spotted Luka Doncic having a pre-game beer. And after this went viral, everyone was going for the Mavs. Couple cold ones before Game 1. He might drop 50 tonight. Breakfast beers for Luka and the boys, Mavs in 4. I guess that explains why they lost 112 to 87. But that's not even the first time Luka was caught drinking beer. 2 years ago, back when he was only 23 years old, Luka Doncic broke the Mavericks single-game scoring record, scoring 60 points. He also grabbed 21 rebounds and dished out 10 assists in a win against the Knicks. And that was only the second time in NBA history that a player has scored 60 points and grabbed 20 or more rebounds. And after one of the greatest performances in NBA history, this is what Luka had to say.
It's never been done in NBA history, a 60-point, 20-rebound triple-double. How's it feel right now?
I'm tired as hell. I need a recovery beer.
And recently, after they beat the Timberwolves to go to the NBA Finals, he is seen drinking another recovery beer, except this time, one of his coaches had to take it away from him. This poor guy just wants a recovery beer. But beer isn't the only thing that Luka is known for. In fact, he's known so well for this next thing, he even has a nickname for it.
I'm gonna go with Luka Doncic.
Luka Doncic. On August 28th, 2021, this picture of Luka went viral. He even got the nickname trending on Twitter. He definitely knows how to enjoy his offseason. But before Luka was one of the best players in the NBA, he was a kid with an NBA dream. Growing up, Luka was a childhood prodigy. He was already picking up a basketball at only 1 year old. His father was a professional basketball player in Slovenia, and he was a big reason why Luka was dominating everyone at a young age. At just 8 years old, he got moved up to play against 11-year-olds, and just 2 years later, at 10 years old, he was already scoring 50 points in games. And only at 13 years old, he scored his career high best, 54 points, that lasted 11 years, until he broke it in the NBA. At 13 years old, he already stood at 5'11", and signed a 5-year contract to play pro basketball for Real Madrid. And at just 16 years old, he made his professional basketball debut, the youngest in Real Madrid history. And only 3 years later, at 19, he was the best player in the EuroLeague, being named MVP, averaging 16 points a game, and breaking tons of records and going against grown men, right before being drafted in the NBA 3rd overall by the Hawks, and being traded to the Dallas Mavericks. And speaking of breaking records, Luka has broken a lot of them. He already broke the Mavericks single-game scoring record, scoring 73 points in one game. Only 1 out of 10 players to ever score 70 points in a game. He broke the Mavericks franchise record of most points in one season and holds the NBA record for most consecutive 30-point triple-doubles. He's doing all this at just 25 years old, but probably his most impressive record has to do with this sports card. This card right here is the most expensive Luka card in the entire world, and the 3rd most valuable basketball card ever. And just 3 years ago, it was the most expensive basketball card in the entire world. Now it's just behind this Steph Curry card that sold for $6 million, and this LeBron card that sold for $5.1 million. This card not only has a patch of his game-worn jersey, but it also has his autograph. And did I mention that this card is a 1-of-1, the only card of its kind in the entire world, and it's valued at $4.6 million. Now that's an expensive card, but that's nothing compared to how much money Luka Doncic makes. Back in 2022, he signed an extension for 5 years worth $215 million, one of the biggest contracts in NBA history. And that contract's gonna keep him in Dallas until 2027, but the NBA is projecting that when it's time for Luka to sign a new contract in 2027, he could sign the biggest deal in NBA history, 5 years for a total of $346 million. That averages out to almost $70 million a year, and in the final year of his contract, he would be making $79 million. But he's gonna need all that money for what he's buying. This is Luka's brand new $2.7 million mansion. It's 5,225 square feet with 4 massive bedrooms and bathrooms. It also comes with a huge pool and outdoor projector. And the best part is, he lives in the same neighborhood as former Mavs owner Mark Cuban. But what's way more impressive is that Luka's one of the biggest car collectors in the entire NBA. Some of his best cars are the Porsche 911, a Lamborghini Urus, a Ferrari 812, and probably probably the coolest car in his entire collection, an Apocalypse Hellfire 6x6. This guy's really ready for anything, but that's not even close to the weirdest thing he spent his money on, because back in 2022, his teammate Dorian Finney-Smith bought himself his own horse, and just like any good teammate would, Luka had to call up Michael Jordan himself to get custom J's for Dorian's horse. That horse has better shoes than I do, but now that we're done talking about horses, I have to talk to you about the sponsor for today's video, Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is the easiest way to play fantasy sports, and the fastest growing fantasy app in the industry. With their easy to use mobile app and website, you'll have no problem jumping right into the action. Just pick higher or lower on your favorite player's stats, and you can win up to 20 times your money in a single night. And it's just in time for the best time of the year, the NBA Finals. And Underdog's new Pick 8 is now live for the NBA Finals. Create entries with up to 8 picks, and Underdog will automatically double flex entries, so you can miss up to 2 picks and still win your entry, with more picks to make and extra ways to win. The excitement is higher than ever. The best part, you can win up to 325 times your original amount, and you can now use specials and boosts on all flexed entries. Get in on the action today and use my code Jumpshot to claim your special pick. First time deposit offer up to $250 bonus cash. Don't miss your chance to try out Pick 8 before it's gone. But back to the video, because I bet you didn't know that Luka Doncic is suing his own mom. This is Luka's mom, and back when he was drafted in 2018, he gave his mom permission to file a trademark for Luka Doncic 7, his name and his jersey number. But as time went by, and his career kept getting bigger and bigger, Luka wanted to own his own name as a trademark, and in 2021, he revealed his Jordan logo that would go on all his apparel, a logo that would showcase his initials LD, his number 77, and the letter S for his home country Slovenia. But when he tried to trademark his own name, the trademark office told him he couldn't do it because his name was already officially trademarked by his mom from a few years earlier. And luckily that shouldn't be a problem. I mean, after all, it is his own mom. She'll definitely give Luka back his trademark, right? Well, when Luka told his mom that he was growing into a huge star and wanted to control his own name, she didn't exactly agree with him and refused to give up his trademark. So in September of 2022, Luka officially sued his own mom. This giant legal battle went on for a few months until it quietly ended in December of that same year. I can't believe he actually sued his own mom, but something that may be even more unbelievable is what happened during Luka's post-game interview. This was right after the Mavericks played the Thunder in a playoff game on May 9th. It was just like any other ordinary game. Luka went to the locker room. Once he was finished in there, he did his post-game interview, but what was supposed to be just a few questions turned into the weirdest interview of all time.
Just our energy. I think we shared the ball really well. We were knocking down shots, and just our sharing the ball and our energy was great.
What do you think? Okay, moving on.
I wonder what was going on during that interview. And speaking of interviews, during Luka's rookie season, he had an interview where he said LeBronJames was not only his favorite player, but his idol when he was watching the NBA as a kid.
What was your favorite player growing up in the NBA that you admired?
LeBronJames. He was my idol when I was growing up. He's now, so it's not different.
So of course when Luka finally got to the NBA, he had the Lakers matchup circled on his calendar. And on October 31st, 2018, he finally got to play his favorite player ever. He put up 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists as a rookie against his idol. And after the game, he even waited to snag his jersey. But I bet you didn't know that Luka's not only good at basketball, because he's actually good at video games as well. A few weeks ago on May 9th, Luka Doncic was in the middle of a playoff series against the Oklahoma City Thunder. And while he was balling on the court, he was balling in Overwatch too. He posted this picture to his story, sharing with everyone that he was a top 500 tank in the entire world. And if you didn't know, tanks in Overwatch are designed to take up space and protect his teammates. So like a true point guard, he's setting up his teammates on and off the court. But Luka Gaming isn't a secret to anyone, because back in 2023, this random guy got paired up with Luka in a game of Overwatch, and he couldn't believe it was actually him.
You have any hobbies, Donatello?
Yeah, I play basketball.
Okay. Well, you go to a gym
Yo,
or
Donatello.
you play on the team?
Dallas Mavericks.
You're on the
Wait,
Mavericks.
Wait, like
Yeah.
varsity or?
No, real.
Wait, really?
When's your birthday?
28th of February.
Well, he actually knows. That's wait. I googled that. You're actually right.
I know. I'm him.
She's above. Where's she one? Nice. Wait, Donatello. Are you Luka?
No.
Are you sure? You do sound like him though.
Yes.
Do you know who I'm talking about when I say Luka? Aha.
I guess we know what Luka's doing after his NBA career is over. But if you liked watching strange things you didn't know about Luka Doncic, you'll love watching the saddest moments in NBA history. Go watch it right now.